Venus in Aquarius, they can be just as sexy and dominant like a Venus in Scorpio or Venus in Capricorn, but they just don't take themselves as seriously. They don't have the drive for power or for authority as much as the drive for future influence. So their energy is still more playful. The rainbow colors work beautifully in this placement, but blue is also a prominent color in the palette. Venus in Aquarius, ankles are dressed to mini booty. She's the foundation of intelligent realm. She's cool, collected, and innovative. So with the Venus in Aquarius, your fashion reflects rebellion and conservation at the same time. This arena is like it's close to being edgy at the same time as honoring the past. Okay, so because Aquarius is about trends, it looks to the past for trends from old decades long ago, and it combines that with edgy modern twists. One could say the Aquarian quirkiness is to appeal to different groups. So Venus here is creating the appeal towards whichever group that person is directing their energy to. But in general, there's also this connection between natural and technology. So Venus and Aquarians can have a robotic sensuality in the sense that their bodies are sexy, but they don't necessarily use their bodies for display of sensuality or sexiness. So it's more about the ensemble, similar to Libra. They're putting it all together. Also, Venus and Aquarius can stimulate sexuality through the makeup. So they are more smoky eye like a Scorpio, but not necessarily trying to do the whole Scorpio gamut. They are taking the edginess from Scorpio. You'll also find them playing around with black fedora hats, round brim hats, like Saturn energy, since Aquarius does have that serious Saturn energy as well. So they can be as edgy as a rock star, or they can be as simplistic and classic as an old vintage pinup poster or an old, a photo shoot out of a old school magazine. One way that she seduces mentally, intellectually, is towards the masculine and feminine gaze by appealing to a nostalgia moment in their memories or time. And this actually can be very encapsulating. So she can have different sides to her, kind of like the Gemini energy, but a lot more mature in her execution of those different sides to her. And so she will have the more edgy rock star side, she'll have the more casual side, and then her more appealing side is going to, her more sensual side is going to appeal to you in a very nostalgic but conservative way, which really leaves a lot more of the need for visualization. So she is like the one who is evoking you to grow with your own visualization. She's an avatar beauty, edgy, chic, classic, vintage, but also smoky. And therefore, she can be like the avatar that you want to put somewhere. You want to put her to good use. She seduces the world with her mind. So Venus in Aquarius is mentally strong, and so also philanthropic, and quite often can be the one that like wears like a political statements on her t-shirts and things like that, because she's trying to seduce the world with how she thinks. The message of the Venus in Aquarius energy is to use what you know, okay? Venus in Aquarius is a scientist, so your Venus energy is experimental. Textures is a major thing with this placement. Having everyone feel through the textures that you have in the style that you wear. It's almost like an armor for you, but it's also very provocative. It's how you provoke other people. Like in Taurus, fixed earth, the texture matters to the person. It feels good on the person. But in Aquarius fixed air, the texture is about putting something outwardly, making other people feel good or comfortable or get a message across through that texture. Zigzag patterns, patterns like Libra air. Now, that real cool blue and different shades of blue definitely work here, but also more jewel tones and expressing oneself through that crystal-like, jewel-like tone of the color works very nicely here. It's like the tropical aquatic or even the amphibian. And one could say once we get to Pisces, it's mermaids. So we are kind of dealing with a frozen cold water. The classic black dress seems to be a dominant placement that many Venus and Aquarians utilize, and it must be classic, vintage, and have nice curves on it, and it works every time. Never outlook or downplay your knowledge because that's a big part of fashion. So, Venus and Aquarius is either using their intelligence to express it through the fashion and or understanding fashion in all of that you would need to learn about it and then applying it. So Venus Aquarius is going to really upstand their intelligence. The key is to create a vision or an ensemble that creates a big look or a big statement. Venus and Aquarius can pinpoint what is trendy across the board because again, Aquarius is connected to trends. So trends is your eye. The energy of Venus and Aquarius is chill, sexy, almost rock star like, and so it has a relaxed look. It's not as like uptight as like Venus and Virgo, Venus and Scorpio. It's really good for you to have statement pieces, jackets, hats, scarves, even denim. Denim is huge for Aquarius. It's also huge for Libra. It's huge for the air signs, actually. So when it comes to hair, it's best to keep it light, wistful. You can have your natural hair. You can have it blowing in the wind. Like you're sweating on stage and you're letting it frizz out. You're letting it, and that's the sexiness that comes with Venus and Aquarius. It allows the nature to almost take over in its way, right? And when nature takes over, you have things that you can't control, right? So when you're looking at your hair, you're going to see certain images that I've provided for you where the person has a perfectly coiffed hair. That's usually the Venus Aquarius that's honoring an old trend. So they might go back and honor the 40s, right? And then if you're honoring the 40s, well, you want to do it immaculately. Your hair is going to be perfect. But if you're taking the casual Venus and Aquarius look, that's actually a lot more rock starish. So they can have like these two different versions of them. One that wants to honor the past and one that is modernized. And the modernized version is usually a rock star to some degree. Okay? So hair can be short, could be long, could be whatever you want it to be, but let it be loose in your edgy spirit. Rock a ponytail better than most people as well, because you take the energy of Venus and Aquarius takes nature and makes it hot. So Venus in Aquarius is not at her best when you just don't feel beautiful. And this is important because in classic astrology, Venus is not in a very comfortable place in Aquarius. There are certain signs where she's just absolutely not comfortable. In Aries, in Scorpio, in Aquarius, these three Venus is trying to figure herself out. She's still trying to maintain her femininity while adding something else to the table. And when it comes to Aquarius, it's the mental, it's the intelligence, because intelligence is actually extremely masculine in the sense that intelligence is constructed, it's studied, it wants to penetrate other people. And so with Venus and Aquarius, you're learning how to be feminine but also penetrative at the same time. And it's a matter of a dance with you and the way that you want to express and present yourself.